G'day guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Wildkard. Thank you for being here watching my content. I do appreciate it. As always, it is my pleasure and absolute privilege to entertain you here on YouTube. So thank you for being here. And yes, as the field of Athenry rings around Lansdowne Road, it is a really quite extraordinary moment in rugby today. Ireland have won the Grand Slam in the World Cup year, beating England in this final Test match. And more importantly, probably more important than the Grand Slam, is that this will be the last Test match of Johnny Sexton in the Six Nations. Yeah, quite a sobering moment, I guess. Johnny Sexton is the greatest Irish player of all time. He has surpassed all the accolades Johnny Sexton, Ronan O'Gara, anybody you can think of in the past of Ireland rugby. He is absolutely the most extraordinary player in the history of Ireland. And he's got the World Cup left for him. He did limp off the field. Hopefully he's okay. I was sweating when I saw him limp off the field. But extraordinary moment. This is the end of an era, guys. This is it. Enjoy every last bit of moment of Johnny Sexton, because once, what's going to happen with Ireland after the World Cup, nobody knows, right? And this game, the overwhelming emotion really, affected the Irish team a little bit. The Ireland really wasn't able to get into that fast-paced rhythm that they wanted to play. England did bring a much better game this week than they did last week. Really, throw the kitchen sink at the Irish. And the Ireland really, despite playing against 14 players, England had a red card in the first half. Ireland took the Irish team, 65 minutes to finally put up a gap that probably Irish fans would be a little bit really pull a bit away, put a gap away from England and put some daylight to say that we can probably win this game. It was really extraordinary how tight this game was, with all things considered going into this game. And really, this was again worthy of a Grand Slam. This was again worthy of Johnny Sexton's last Six Nation match. And let's talk about the controversy. I think everybody here is to hear about the controversy. So referee Jaco Peyper and his old mate, what's his name? The TMO. Marius Jonker, right? Two South Africans. I really felt I was a little bit disappointed that they gave that red card against Freddie Stewart. There was a few reasons, right? Number one, Hugo Keenan was scooping out the ball off the ground, so Freddie Stewart wasn't able to actually tackle him until he actually picks the ball up, right? So Keenan essentially gets the ball just before making contact with Freddie Stewart, and Freddie Stewart recognizes this, tries to pull out. He was literally tucking himself in and tries to back away. So this should have been low degree of danger, although Keenan kind of rammed his head into Freddie Stewart's arm. It looked really bad, but really Stewart was pulling out, literally trying to back away. Keenan was, going upwards off the ground. I thought this was a yellow card at most. And the referee basically said, hey, that's a shoulder to that's a tucked arm to the face. By the rules of the book, Freddie Stewart didn't change his body height and made direct contact with the head, and that was a red card. This has to be the softest red card I probably have seen, right? We've seen, this is something that I got actually really a bit angry after when I saw this, right? So the whole point of having a referee is to interpret the situation at hand. The referee's job is not to go, this is the law, right? Let's just take the law and apply it word by word to what's happening on the field without any context. And that's what the referees did today. And that's a really bad referee. Because if that's what you're going to do, right, just bring on a computer. Just put a computer on there. Why do you have a referee? The computer will do a much better job than you at interpreting everything by the letter of the word without applying any context to the situation. And then, in fact, computer would not get anything else wrong. Everything will be 100% correct with the computer. There will be no referee, complaints after the game. There will be no Razzie Erasmus videos because the computer will just do exactly by the letter of the word. If it's a knock-on, it's a knock-on. If it's hands in the rock, it's hands in the rock. If it's a high contact, it's a high contact. The whole point of a referee having a human of deciding all these things. It's the same reason as why they have judges in courts and not a computer sitting there and just putting the words just applying the words, written words into the courtroom, because there's a human interpretation of the situation at hand. That's why they have what the law. What do they call it? The precedent, the law for precedent. The decisions are made previously holds weight to what's happening today by previous judges, and that should be what's happening in rugby as well. What happened in the past has some kind of bearings with what's happening here when applying the law. It's not just, make contact with the head, that's a red card. And you know what I'm talking about? The incident that happened in the past? Absorbing tackle. I'm sure all the Irish fans knows that, right? Andrew Porter stood on his ground, head, shoulder contact to Brodie Retallick's face, broke Brodie Retallick's cheekbone against the All Blacks in July last year. Absorbing tackle. Barnesy at the time said it was absorbing tackle. Afterwards, the judiciary reviewed it and said it was absorbing tackle. No match ban, yellow card only. In fact, I don't even think he got a yellow card. Nothing happened, despite it being cited, right? That's precedent. Freddie Stewart was literally going backwards. This was this was even less of a full momentum from Freddie Stewart than Andrew Porter. If you were gonna set an absorbing tackle or like a rugby collision, right? This is it. Freddie Stewart, he couldn't tackle Hugo Keenan before he got the ball, right? And as soon as Keenan got the ball, he made contact. And he tried to pull out. That should, come on. World Rugby needs to fix this. It's so basic. It blows my mind how professional referees gets paid, I don't know, millions of dollars probably, fly first class around the world, don't have a brain on the field. How many of them are there? There's 3 referees on the field. There's one in the TMO box, right? Can't make a decision. Makes a decision that they all can just be replaced with a computer program, right? They should just replace all of them. They're just useless. No brain. They don't have a brain. And by the way, I don't, I'm pretty sure Marius Jonker have a brain. I'm pretty sure, Jaco Peyper have a brain. They're instructed by World Rugby to not use it. That's the issue here. This is the thing. You can all, this is this thing, right? This is this is a Grand Slam. Yes, it's a big occasion. This could be happening in the Rugby World Cup. This could be a Rugby World Cup quarterfinal, semi-final, or grand final. These referees get out there, not using their brains while doing their jobs. I mean, think about it this way, right? If somebody was watching rugby for the first time and they saw this, do you think anybody, if you got anybody out of, who doesn't watch rugby and show them this collusion and ask them how dangerous this is, do you think anybody would say this was dangerous, worthy of match suspension? It's just unbelievably bad. So yeah, so England went down to 14-man just on the dot of half time, essentially. Had to play entire second half with 14 players. There was a yellow card at the end. I thought should have been a yellow card, but it is what it is, right? The referees are told to not use their brain, but World Rugby. But yeah, I thought it was just unbelievably bad by the referee. Anyway, we could talk about referee all day, but let's move on to the game, right? So like I said, the emotions of the game was really overwhelming. England really brought in a different game, pressured the game. Like in the first half, you can tell the English team was ready to go. Every line out, England was there, ready to go. And the Irish team was like walking in. Everybody's looking at each other like, all right, what are we going to do here? You can tell the England was more prepared, more eager to get the action going. And yeah, they were close. They were hanging in there. Ireland was just absorbing a lot of the English attack. The England didn't really do much special, nothing new. It just brought more intensity essentially, and just really had that desire to make it, to win this match. And that's something that's really, really special when it comes to a team. That's something that you need to win big matches. And England, whilst not really that skill level of the Irish team, but in terms of physicality, in terms of mindset, it definitely was, and brought another level from they were last week. That is for sure. So let's have a look at the stats of the match. 4 tries to 1. Like I said, Ireland took them all the way till the end to put England away. But England really didn't really have any ways of breaking the Irish defense. The only try that England was able to score was through a more try late in the second. Late in the second half, where they're putting like 12 players into the maul and just really brute force their way through for a try. Other than that, England's attack really didn't look like there was anywhere threatening of scoring for the most part. The Irish, on the other hand, didn't really look as smooth as they were against the other teams, against France. Really looked like everybody's overwhelmed a little bit by the emotions. 4 tries to 1, 467 run meters to Ireland, to England's 272. At halftime, Ireland was winning the run meters, 279 to England's 129. And the turnovers conceded, this is something the Irish team really let themselves down. Like I said, it was over. Maybe the motions was getting to the Irish team. The England team was playing with 14 players, right? So first half, Ireland conceded 10 turnovers, England conceded 5. And in the second half, despite playing against 14 players, Ireland conceded another 10. England only conceded 5 turnovers. That is a huge, crucial stat that really allowed England to hanging in the game in the second half. Tackles made exactly the same, 143 for both teams. Ireland only missed 15 tackles, and once again bringing that impeccable defense that we've seen for quite a long time now. And England, 33 missed tackles, again needs to work on that completion rate. Much better than last week. Not much better, about the same as last week actually against France. But yeah, not really up there in the top pecking orders of the defense in the rugby world these days. 34 kicks for Ireland for full time. England 33 kicks for them. Owen Farrell much better in his kicking game, despite all these kickings are quite easy. 4 out of 4. And lineouts, both teams were okay. Ireland lost 2 of the lineouts. England lost 1. Scrum, this was quite a huge battle in the scrum. The referee was very tight on hinging. There was one scrum where I thought Ireland looked like they won, but the referee called it was hinging. And yeah, was illegally wheeling the scrum. Ellis Genge, was it Ellis Genge? Maybe it was Sinclair was penalised for boring in as well. Maybe it was Andrew Porter got penalised for boring as well. But overall, the scrum battle was really tight because we know Genge does that a lot. Boring does that does the boring a lot on the loose hair side. So yeah, it was quite a bit of underhanded dealings going on there in the scrummaging, despite overall being quite even. Penalties conceded, Ireland only conceded 7, whilst England conceded 13, a yellow card and a red card. It is what it is. So let's have a recap of the point summary. So yeah, right out of the gate, right, there was a lot of, you can tell that England has brought a different intensity. Malo Tuilangi started out really physical, but he just kind of faded off for the most part of the game. I don't know. I feel like he has a physicality, but just because of how long he's been injured, he hasn't really got that confidence back than he was before he was injured. So potentially needs to be more game time, and he could potentially get there. He definitely had a big hit on Bundy Aki and just ran him over, which was really good. And Andy Farrell Jr. put a big shot on early on Gibson Parks and got himself penalised. And it was a really intense start at the beginning. But England was building a lot of phases, 12 phases or something early in the game, was putting a lot of pressure on Ireland. within the first 5 minutes or so, and gets a penalty. One of the Irish players didn't roll away, and England, opted for the 3 points. I was really disappointed by this decision, to be honest. I know they feel like they're the underdogs, but really, I thought England probably should have gone for the try because Ireland was under a lot of pressure, and you can tell the Irish team gave away the penalty just to alleviate the pressure. And England just went, yeah, all right, we'll take the 3. Gets the first 3-point on the board 7 minutes into the game. 14 minutes into the game, so 7 minutes later, Ireland gets give away another penalty. England was having a line out, and Ireland was basically engaged the line out early. I think it was Andrew Porter, pulled out Mario Itoje, or he basically engaged Mario Itoje when it was still in the air. Another penalty. Farrell kicks this one. England up 6-0, 50 minutes into the game. So it was just really surprising. The Irish team was not able to get into their rhythm. Like I said, maybe the emotion was getting overwhelmed by for the players to that extent. A few minutes later, on the 18th minute, Sinclair gives us a penalty at the breakdown, so Ireland gets an opportunity to kick 3 through, and Johnny Sexton kicks it 1 through, and I think he's the highest scorer in the history of Six Nations as of this kick as well. He could potentially play next year. I think he declared that he's not going to play anymore, but I mean, he could potentially, if he wants to. He kicks this one 3 points to 6, and Ireland pulls himself back a little bit. And Ireland, from this point forward, Ireland was just having a lot of uncharacteristic errors. Like Hugo Keenan at around the 20-minute mark got the ball, received the kick from Freddie Stewart, I think, and he just shanked the kick. And literally the ball, when he kicked the ball inside his own 22, the ball just went straight sideways, completely shanked it, literally sideways, and the ball didn't even get out of the zone 22. That's how badly he shanked the ball. And then it was just everybody's this is not something that Ireland want. But England put on a lot of pressure following this poor kick from Keenan. Ireland was able to hold on. And you can see Ireland was just every line out and everything was happening. England's getting there and getting ready, getting set, good to go. And the Irish team is kind of everybody's looking at each other, walking into the line outs, walking to the scrums. Everybody's talking, trying to figure out what it's really the Ireland team is looking like they're out of the game a little bit, right? 33 minutes into the game, the Ireland has an opportunity inside the English 22, and they set up a maul, and it looked like a maul, but Josh Van der Fleer gets the ball, rips the ball out, and just runs straight into the 10 channel. And as he runs in the 10 channel, he pops the ball back into the back infield, but to the blind side, and what's his name? Dan Sheehan gets the ball on the inside angle, just beautiful run straight through the night channel, and then he runs over Van Poirier like a child, just literally bumps him over. Marlo Tuilagi trying to make tackle, he goes straight in. First right, this was so beautifully done, something that you've just been practicing on the field. It's one of those aces off your sleeves taken out when Ireland desperately needed to get themselves a try. Suddenly the score is 10 points to 6 after this try to score. Ireland finally get themselves ahead after 33 minutes at Lansdowne Road. So just before half time, like I said, the absorbing tackle happened. Freddie Stewart gets yellow carded and red carded. Really unfortunate. England was able to hold on to the onslaught before halftime, not conceding any more points. But Ireland was heading into halftime with a player up. So second half starts, and you can immediately tell Ireland almost feel like they won the game. They got this grand slam in the bag. England came out, was just whatever. We're going to swing for the fences. So the first 10 minutes, England was clearly having a real challenge to Ireland. And, despite having a play in the bin, England was making all the efforts, making all the gains, and the Ireland was kind of just almost holding back a little bit. So sure enough, 10 minutes in, England has a scrum, really mongrel this scrum and got a scrum penalty. And they kicks 3 points. Suddenly the scoreboard is 10 points to 9. England is back, within reach of the game. Ireland messes up another kick a few minutes later. I think this was Johnny Sexton. Again, shanked the ball just straight out, essentially, and then England gets another shot inside the Irish 22 with a line out. But eventually, Ireland was able to stabilize. It took them 20 minutes into the second half, 60 minutes in the second half. Ireland finally build some momentum, get themselves on the front foot. There was, obviously, England was down a player, so Johnny Sexton had a penalty advantage, spots the wide field open, cross-field kick. The English player gets tackled in goal. Ireland gets a 5-meter scrum. So the scrum comes out. The Ireland goes out to the open side, and all the English players, desperately trying to scramble themselves toward the open side. And Ireland just went psych, switches the ball back to the blind side. Robbie Henshaw crashes over immediately for the Irish team. 61 minutes in, so suddenly the scoreboard's opened up a little bit. Ireland is feeling a little bit better. More after Johnny Sexton kicks this one through. 8 points lead. A few minutes later, 67 minutes, Ireland did the exact same kind of move again. Ireland was just attacking into the open side, and then immediately quickly switched to the blind side. And once again, in the short channel, England was not prepared. This time it's Dan Shim in the train tracks, charge down the side, goes in for another try. He had Jack Conan, who was the guy before him, runs into the last two defender. Conan is so good, just calmly, makes the half break, pops the ball out to Shim and the train tracks, and easy as that, textbook maneuver. Suddenly Ireland is 2 tries ahead and looking much better for the Grand Slam. So yeah, that is 68 minutes, and then a few minutes later, England, really feeling a bit desperate, gets the kickoff, and then gets a penalty advantage from the kickoff. They started building a few phases. They eventually goes back for the penalty. They kick the ball out for the line out. It wasn't that big of a kick. It was just inside the Irish 22. And England sets up a more, and then 12-man more. England just slowly wiggled away for about 20 meters. And eventually Jamie George crashes through for the try at 72 minutes on the ball. And suddenly there's 8 minutes left. England could still have a chance of catching up to Ireland with a penalty and a try. Johnny Sexton at this point limps off the field. It's looking a little bit scary, and the England team is this is a really scary moment. Sexton comes off. England's on 8 point behind, and then there's still enough time for England to come back. And we'll remember England did this to the All Blacks, where they scored 3 tries in 10 minutes. So it's completely possible for England to come back from this point. And then the game carried on. 75 minutes. England, let themselves down. Is it Jack Willis? The number 7. Yeah, Jack Willis live tackles. I think, who was it? Live tackles one of the Irish players, gets a yellow card, and suddenly England's basically down to 13 players. And Ireland took this opportunity. I thought Ireland for sure was just going to kick for 3, right? Because if you kick for 3, you are a try and 4 points ahead. A converted try and 4 points ahead. So you're 11 points ahead. There's no way England can score 11 points in 3 minutes? In 5 minutes or whatever. But it's possible for them to score 7 points and a penalty right at the end when the clock is red and win the match. So yeah, I thought for sure Ireland was going to kick this, especially when Johnny Sexton saw the field and this was right in front. No, Ireland goes, we're going to win this game with a try. We're going to finish in a flurry. They kick the ball out for a line out, and they just get the line out, sets up a more, and then Rob Hearing gets the ball. He peels off at the back, runs in, morphs over one of the English players and dunks the ball over for the final try for Ireland. Bonus point win, and 29-16, Ireland gets the Grand Slam. Yeah, it is what it is, guys. I really hope that the referees have a brain going to the Rugby World Cup. It's just, really kind of soured a little bit, I think, when the red card occurred, because you didn't know what's going to happen. England could have probably put there could have been an even better game if England didn't have a red card. But anyway, let me know your thoughts. Like, comment, subscribe. I do appreciate you watching this video, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for maybe some Super Rugby review, and then it'll be news on Tuesday. Anyway, thanks guys. Subscribe, and see you guys soon. Cheers.